It was the loud bang on the door that woke the entire compound. "Open this door!" a voice shouted angrily. Inside, there was silence, then hurried movement. The knocking grew louder, harder, desperate. "Break it!" someone yelled. And when the door finally gave way, everyone rushed in. What they saw in that room shocked them, but what was hidden under the bed changed everything. In a quiet village, there lived a man named Tunde. Tunde was known as a hard-working and calm man. He loved his wife deeply and did everything to provide for her. His wife, Amaka, was beautiful, respectful, and soft-spoken. To everyone around them, they were the perfect couple. Their home was small, but filled with peace. Or at least that's what people thought, because recently, things had started to change. Tunde began to notice little things. Amaka would get startled easily. She would hide her phone quickly whenever he walked in. Sometimes she would sit quietly, lost in thought, as if something was disturbing her. "Are you okay?" Tunde asked one evening. "I'm fine," she replied quickly, too quickly. But outside, whispers had already begun. "I saw someone near their house last night. I think something is going on." Tunde tried to ignore the rumors, but deep inside, doubt had already entered his heart. One evening, Tunde returned home earlier than usual. The compound was unusually quiet. As he approached the house, he noticed the door was locked from inside. He paused. Then he heard it, a faint voice, then another. Tunde's heart began to race. He knocked. "Amaka, open the door." No response. He knocked harder. "Amaka!" Then suddenly, silence. Neighbors began to gather. "What's happening?" one asked. "I heard voices inside," Tunde said, his voice shaking. That was all it took. "Break the door!" They forced it open. The door crashed. Everyone rushed inside. Amaka stood there, trembling, alone. No one else. The room was quiet. Too quiet. "But we heard voices," someone said. Tunde's eyes scanned the room, his heart pounding. Then one of the men stepped forward. Check everywhere. Cupboards? Empty. Behind the curtains? Nothing. Then, wait. He slowly bent down and looked under the bed. There was something there. Not a person. A box. Old, wrapped tightly in cloth. The room froze. "What is that?" Tunde asked quietly. Amaka began to shake.
Don't open it.
"Don't open it," she whispered. But it was too late. The box was brought out. Carefully, slowly, it was opened. Inside were strange items, charms, beads, and a small mirror. The air in the room changed instantly. "Where did this come from?" Tunde asked. Tears rolled down Amaka's face. "I didn't mean for this to happen." Amaka fell to her knees. "I was scared. I didn't know what to do." She explained everything. A woman had come to her weeks ago, an old woman. She promised to help her marriage, to make her husband love her more, to protect their home. At first, it seemed harmless, but things changed. Strange dreams, voices at night, fear. "I tried to stop," Amaka cried, but it was already too late. Tunde stood there, broken, not just from what he saw, but from what he felt. Betrayal, fear, confusion. The woman he trusted had brought something dark into their home. Silence filled the room. No one spoke.
That night, no one slept. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Tunde sat outside until morning, staring into the darkness. Amaka cried softly inside, but no one came to comfort her. Something had changed, not just between them, but in the air itself. Days passed, but the silence remained. Tunde stopped talking completely. He ate alone, slept alone, avoided her eyes. The villagers began to whisper again. This house is no longer normal. Amaka felt it too. The peace she once fought to protect was gone. Then it started. At night, soft sounds. At first it was nothing. A slight movement, a faint shift, like something dragging across the floor. Tunde ignored it, until one night he heard it clearly from under the bed. He froze. His breathing slowed. The sound came again, a slow, deliberate movement from the exact place the box had been. Tunde stood up slowly, his eyes fixed on the bed, his heart pounding heavily in his chest. For a moment, he almost checked, but something inside him said no. He stepped back and walked out. The next morning, Amaka spoke. Her voice was weak. "There's something I didn't tell you." Tunde didn't respond. He just stood there, listening. "The woman, she warned me. She said I must finish everything she gave me, and if I stopped halfway..." She paused, tears falling. "It would bring trouble into the house." Tunde finally looked at her. "Who is she?" Amaka shook her head. "I don't know. She just came one evening. She said she could help me, make our marriage stronger. She said you would never look at another woman again." Silence. Tunde's jaw tightened. "And you believed her?" Amaka couldn't answer. Fear began to grow. Not just in Amaka, but in Tunde too. They went to an elder in the village, an old man known for wisdom. After listening quietly, he sighed. "Some doors once opened do not close easily." Tunde's heart sank. "That woman you saw, she does not force people. She only gives them what they ask for." Amaka's eyes widened. "But every gift has a price." That night, the sound returned. Louder this time, not just movement, a faint scratching from under the bed. Tunde stood up immediately. "No, this has to stop." Amaka broke down completely. "I was just trying to keep you. I was scared you would leave me." Her voice cracked. "I didn't want to lose you." Tunde looked at her. Long, deep pain in his eyes. "You already lost me." The next morning, they took the box far away from the house. With the elder's guidance, it was destroyed. The charms buried, the items burned, everything gone. The sounds stopped. The house became quiet again, but not peaceful, just empty. Tunde remained distant. Amaka remained broken. Sometimes the things we do out of fear create the very problems we were trying to avoid. Not everything that promises love brings peace, and some choices, no matter how small they seem, leave marks that never truly fade. And even though the box was gone, late at night, Tunde would still wake up, not because he heard something, but because he remembered.